Most soy sauce in America was never actually brewed. Flip the bottle over on your favorite Asian condiment and you will not find the words naturally fermented anywhere on it. Instead, you will find three tiny words hidden in the fine print: hydrolyzed soy protein. That is the food industry's polite way of saying this product was assembled in a factory in under 8 hours, using the same family of acid they use to clean industrial swimming pools. And you are paying premium shoyu prices for it. Americans spend over $1.2 billion a year on soy sauce. It is the most consumed condiment in Asian cuisine on the planet. And yet, the majority of what fills those grocery store shelves is a cocktail of acid hydrolyzed soybean meal, corn syrup, caramel coloring, and enough flavor enhancers to fake the depth of real fermentation. I spent over 6 weeks auditing every major soy sauce brand on the shelf to find the truth, and the results were not what I expected. 6 brands are getting skipped. 3 actually earned their spot in your pantry, and one of them might be the best value in the entire condiment aisle. The why, how the industry cuts corners here is how the trick works. Real Japanese shoyu uses 4 ingredients: soybeans, roasted wheat, salt, water. You inoculate the cooked grain with a mold called Aspergillus oryzae, also known as koji, and you let it sit in cedar barrels for somewhere between 6 and 18 months. During that time, the koji breaks down the soy proteins into over 300 separate flavor compounds. The umami, the sweetness, the toasty aroma, the dark amber color, all of it comes from time. Now here's the math that matters. Time costs money, a lot of money. Cedar barrels cost money. Climate-controlled aging warehouses cost money. Industry estimates suggest that substituting traditional fermentation with chemical hydrolysis can cut production costs by 60 to 80%. So what do the big brands do? They take defatted soybean meal, the protein left over after the soy oil has been extracted. They boil it in hydrochloric acid at high temperature for 3 to 8 hours. The acid violently rips the soy proteins apart into raw amino acids. They neutralize the bath with sodium carbonate, they filter it, then they add caramel color to fake the brewed look, corn syrup to fake the sweetness, and disodium inosinate and disodium guanylate to fake the umami that real fermentation would have provided naturally. The result is a product that looks like soy sauce. It is bottled like soy sauce. It is shelved right next to real soy sauce. And the packaging is designed so you never notice. The brand name is huge. The word premium is huge. The words hydrolyzed soy protein are tiny, tucked in a corner, printed in a color that barely contrasts with the background. In 2001, the United Kingdom Food Standard Agency tested chemically hydrolyzed soy sauces from multiple Asian exporters. They found a chloropropanol called 3-MCPD at levels exceeding 100 times the legal limit. Mass recalls followed. Reformulations were promised. But the chemical process never went away. It just got cleaner. And here is the FDA loophole. There is no federal standard of identity for soy sauce in the United States. A manufacturer can blend 1% of brewed sauce into 99% chemical hydrolysate, and the bottle can legally still say soy sauce on the front. They are not lying. They are using the law exactly as written. This is not an accident. This is a strategy. 6 soy sauce brands to skip. Let us get into the 6 brands you should walk right past. Brand number 1 to skip: Kikkoman Less Sodium Soy Sauce. Kikkoman has been around since 1661. They built their entire brand on the heritage of traditional Japanese brewing. And to be fair, the classic red cap Kikkoman is genuinely fermented. But the moment you reach for the blue cap less sodium version, you are reaching for a different product entirely. The reduced sodium formula required reformulation, and that reformulation introduced lactic acid and sodium benzoate as a preservative. Real shoyu does not need a preservative. The salt is the preservative. When you see one in the ingredient list, the fermentation depth has been compromised in some way. You are paying premium Kikkoman prices for a chemically stabilized cousin of the original. Brand number 2 to skip: Choi Soy Sauce. La Choi does not even try to hide it. Flip the bottle over and the ingredient list is a confession: hydrolyzed soy protein, corn syrup, caramel color, potassium sorbate, sodium benzoate. There is no fermentation here. There never was. La Choi has been the subject of multiple consumer complaints for marketing what is essentially flavored salt water as soy sauce. The bottle wears Asian aesthetics. The ingredient panel reads like a high school chemistry assignment. Conagra, the parent company, has faced repeated class actions over its labeling practices across multiple product lines. Brand number 3 to skip: Great Value Soy Sauce. Great Value is Walmart's house brand, and this one is exactly what you would expect. The first ingredient is hydrolyzed soy protein, then comes corn syrup, then caramel color, then potassium sorbate. It is contract bottled by industrial manufacturers, and it has never seen a koji spore in its life. It costs about $1.50 per bottle, and that price tag is the only honest thing about it. When a condiment costs less than a candy bar, the ingredient list will always explain why. Brand number 4 to skip. Dragonfly Light soy sauce. The word light is doing a lot of heavy lifting on the front label. On the back, you find hydrolyzed vegetable protein, caramel color, sodium benzoate, and the unmistakable signature of fake umami, disodium inositate and disodium guanylate. Those last two are MSG analogs that are added precisely because acid hydrolysis cannot replicate the natural glutamate development of real fermentation. If a soy sauce has to add fake umami, it has admitted it has no real umami to begin with. The marketing says light. The ingredient list says heavily processed. Brand number 5 to skip, Pearl River Bridge Golden Label. This one hurts because the brand markets itself as a premium Chinese export, and the front label uses words like superior and golden. But the export formulation contains caramel color and the additives E631 and E627, which are flavor enhancers added to compensate for shortened fermentation. Pearl River Bridge was named in the 2001 UK chloropropanol recalls that triggered the entire 3-MCP de-reckoning across the Asian sauce industry. The company says it has reformulated. The additives, however, are still printed on the label today in plain black ink. Brand number 6 to skip, Lee Kum Kee Premium Light Soy Sauce. The word premium appears in massive type on the front. The back tells a very different story. Sodium benzoate, disodium 5 prime ribonucleotides, which is the additive code E635, caramel color, and in the United States, export version specifically high fructose corn syrup. This is not the soy sauce that built the Lee Kum Kee name in 1888, when the founder reportedly invented oyster sauce by accident in a small village. This is what mass distribution and 140 years of cost engineering did to the original recipe. Here's how you audit your own pantry in 60 seconds. Step 1. Pick up the bottle and read the ingredients, not the brand name, the ingredients. A real shoyu lists soybeans, wheat, or none for tamari, salt, water, and koji. And that is it. 5 ingredients, often 4. The moment you see hydrolyzed anything, caramel color, corn syrup, sodium benzoate, or any letter and number code starting with E, you are holding chemical sauce. There is no exception to this rule. Put it back. Step 2. Run the shake test. Pick up the bottle, shake it hard for 5 seconds. Then watch the surface. Real brewed shoyu produces a fine, persistent foam that holds for 15 to 30 seconds. Because fermentation generates natural surfactants as a byproduct of the koji breaking down soy protein. Chemical sauce foams briefly and collapses in under 5 seconds. The bubbles do not lie. Step 3. Run the light test. Hold the bottle up to a bright window or lamp. Real brewed shoyu shows a clear, reddish-brown translucency, almost like dark amber whiskey. Chemical sauce is opaque, flat, and uniformly black, because caramel color was added to disguise the missing pigment of fermentation. Real soy sauce glows. Fake soy sauce absorbs light. Step 4. Smell it. Real shoyu has a faintly sweet, slightly alcoholic, toasty aroma from the wheat and the koji. Chemical sauce smells sharply saline, almost metallic, with no aromatic complexity behind it. If a brand fails 2 or more of these tests, skip it. 3 soy sauce brands that are actually worth it. Now the brands that actually earned your money. Brand number 1. Worth buying? Yamasa Organic Shoyu. The Yamasa family has been brewing shoyu since 1645. They were one of the original 5 Goyo shoyu houses appointed by the Tokugawa shogunate to supply the imperial court of Japan. That is nearly 4 centuries of uninterrupted family fermentation. The organic line uses 5 ingredients only: water, soybeans, wheat, salt, koji. It is aged a minimum of 6 months in actual brewing tanks, not chemical reactors. No caramel color, no corn syrup, no preservatives, no flavor enhancers. And here's the kicker. A 10-ounce bottle costs roughly $6 to $8 at most major American grocers, including Whole Foods and many Asian supermarkets. That is the same price and sometimes lower than the chemical brand sitting next to it on the shelf. 400 years of family heritage for the price of corn syrup and caramel color. Brand number 2 worth buying, Sanjay Tamari Organic Gluten-Free. Sanjay quietly proves that traditional methods can scale without compromising the product. The company was founded in 1784 in Japan, and they opened a brewery in Henrico, Virginia in 1987 that still uses real koji fermentation. Tamari is the original wheat-free style of shoyu. dating back centuries before modern shoyu was standardized. The organic version contains 4 ingredients: water, soybeans, salt. Koji, no wheat, no caramel, no preservatives, no additives at all. It runs about $5 for a 10-ounce bottle, often less when on sale. That is roughly the same price as the chemical imposters. For a fully traditional, organic, gluten-free shoyu made with real koji fermentation in actual brewing tanks, that is a genuine consumer win. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Sanjay Tamari is the single best value in the entire category. Brand number 3 worth buying, Osawa Nama Shoyu. This is the one for the purists. Osawa Nama is unpasteurized, which means the live enzymes from fermentation are preserved all the way to the bottle. Most commercial shoyu is heat pasteurized to extend shelf life, which kills the living culture. Osawa keeps it alive. It is aged in cedar kiyoki barrels that are over 100 years old by a small artisan house in Japan using methods virtually unchanged since the 1800s. 4 ingredients only, no exceptions. A bottle runs about $15 to $18 for 8 ounces. And yes, that is the premium option. But here's the math. A few drops carry the flavor depth of a tablespoon of the chemical stuff. You use less, it lasts longer. The cost per dish is closer to the chemical brands than you would think. If you are buying soy sauce for quality rather than quantity, this is where you end up. Here's the bottom line. 6 of the most popular soy sauce brands in America are built on hydrolyzed soy protein, corn syrup, caramel color, and a wall of flavor enhancers designed to simulate the umami of real fermentation. Several of them were named in international recalls over chloropropanol contamination 2 decades ago and still carry the same additive profile today. 3 brands, Yamasa, Sanjay Tamari, and Osawa Nama, proved that you can make a soy sauce with real ingredients, short ingredient lists, and actual koji fermentation. Yes, the premium option costs more per ounce, but when half of a cheap bottle is acid hydrolyzed protein and the other half is salt water with food coloring, the savings are an illusion. Your health is not a commodity for these corporations to optimize. Flip the bottle, read the label, run the shake test, hold it to the light. The food industry tells on itself every single time because they have to. The ingredient list is the one place they cannot lie. Subscribe to Taste It and Test It because you have the right to know the truth.